realized that it was not hockey. It was like me. It was my family. It was what I was guilt I was feeling. It was a lot of ownership that I had that I didn't need to have because a lot of things happened when I was just a kid. And I think progress really came once I realized that hockey's not the issue. And once I realized that, once I addressed some things with my family, and really once I started talking to people in my family, when I talked to my brother, my mom, my dad, my sister, then I started to realize, like, you know what? Hockey has nothing to do with this. I actually have like fond memories of hockey. Like when I was younger and I didn't realize any of this was going on, when I was in Chicago, when I was in Wisconsin, like I loved being on the ice. So I just, it's like, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit better. I've talked to people in my family. I'm going to get back on the ice. I'm going to see what happens. And yeah, it was a pretty freeing experience being on the ice and not attributing hockey to things that have happened to my family or feeling guilty for being out there. It was just like, I can just separate myself from that now. Like I can just be on the ice and like this game isn't the reason why I'm going to get off and be miserable later. Like I can play hockey, I can get off the ice and actually like feel good about my day.
Nice.
Really good. Really good. How would you describe your relationship with the game now?
I think it's still evolving. I think like I'm still trying to figure out my relationship with hockey. I think I've played for so long where I thought I was miserable, where I thought like this isn't for me. And I've also felt a little like when I was going through all of this, a little outside of the hockey player bubble, like the hockey identity and the hockey this and that. When I was in college, like I loved classes, I loved school, I was a finance and film major, like I loved going to classes.
You have a double degree.
Yeah,
you're like the smartest guy in the NHL. You've got a double degree in finance and film.
Not quite, yeah. Finance I snuck by. Film, I don't know if we're going to count that, but watched a lot of movies for homework. But yeah, sorry, what was the question?
We were just talking about, sorry, Kyle just asked how your relationship is with hockey now.
Oh, yeah, it's still evolving. I'm still coming to terms with everything. I think one thing I realized was once I got back into hockey and I like let Nashville, Milwaukee know I want to come back, but it's still going to take some time. They sent like Boro down to train with me one-on-one for however long I needed. And I didn't know a lot about Boro's story, and meeting with him and grabbing lunch with him and having him just beg me on the ice for an hour every morning at like 8 a.m. was something special. But like I hadn't skated really. I skated once from June to like October or November. And then I show up and Boro's there. So you know what? Like, let's get on the ice. And I remember the first shift the first practice I had with him, we were just skating nonstop for 3 minutes around the ice, doing certain edge work things. And I think by the third minute or the third lap, my legs were locked. Like I couldn't move. I could barely breathe. And he was like, that's sneaky hard, right? Like, no, it's just extremely hard. Like I am dying. But I think I got back into it pretty quickly. I don't know. It was really nice having him there. He was away from his family. He didn't have to do that. And he came down to Milwaukee. He was living in a pretty brutal hotel next to the rink. I don't know if he had a car. He had a car there. But like, you don't want to be in Milwaukee when you're away from your family. You could be in Nashville, just one-on-one with me every day. Like, it was a lot to ask, and he was great. I learned a lot about his story. Like, he was taking care of me, and it's something I'll always be thankful for. And like, I know I talk about my agent being a big person, the therapist being a big person, and getting me back into the game, but I think Boro really was the final piece that was like, like hockey's got great people. He's there for me. He cares about me in this organization, and he was a big reason why I wanted to get back into the game. Even once I was out there like touching the puck, he was like the final piece in saying, you know what, I'm gonna be ready.
You know,
So
that last answer will not be sponsored by the City of Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, well, you know, I love it.
He's a Mecca
I love
man.
it.
He can say that. Yeah.
I love Milwaukee. Like I absolutely love it. I'm here year round. It's great, but I think there are probably better places to spend it than one-on-one with a recently depressed hockey player in the city of Milwaukee when it's gloomy and there's maybe one day of sun out in like a week.
So, Boro, of course, is Mark Borowiecki, longtime player in Ottawa, and then finished his career in Nashville and now works within the organization. So yeah, he said that he was once you got on the ice, he was actually quite, like, after, you know, learning about your story, he was very impressed with just how quickly you looked good on the ice again after you both got out there. And he said he was very envious of some of the things you were able to do because, as he said, he would put some tough drills on there and all the hours you guys spent on the ice. So what was like the toughest thing that he had you do?
That first day was horrible. I mean, I remember getting off the ice, probably like crawling off the ice that first day and thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, why? What is going on here? How am I going to get through this? The second day was fine, but about a week into him and I on the ice one-on-one, we did, all right, we're going to simulate some contact now. So go to the corner. I'm going to like pin you against the wall, try to move around, grab a puck and go shoot. And let's do that like 3 or 4 times. And I remember as soon as he plastered me into the wall, my body just like, I was done. Like I was like, I don't remember getting hit like this ever. Like I can't move. And I think by the third rep, he's like, move, move, move. And I just pasted myself to the wall, didn't move for like 10 seconds. And he's like, all right, go shoot. And I think I just probably went 2 miles an hour, grabbed a puck and flicked it probably 3 feet wide. Like I was just dead. He had some good ones. He had some good drills that maybe I'd be fine doing when I was in shape midway through the season. But coming back from all of that and a summer where I was in the gym twice, maybe it was really tough.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that he said, and I'm sure you're aware, he's a big fan of yours, Spencer, but he said, you know, he goes, I can be proud of Spencer, the organization can be proud of Spencer, but Spencer needs to be proud of Spencer. So are you through all of this?
Yeah, I am.
Great.
Yeah, it took me a while to really feel that way. Like when I had, since pro hockey, I've had some tough summers. Like in college, we would always have 6 weeks of summer to train. And since pro hockey, like I've never found a place to train in Milwaukee. I've never really skated. I think one thing you mentioned in that last practice was like just how I got back into it after not skating. Like that was just a normal summer for me. The first year of pro hockey, between signing with Nashville and playing 2 games with the Admirals and then rookie camp, I got on the ice about a week before on a stick and puck session with my brother. And then the day before I flew down to Nashville, I went to another stick and puck and just stood at the red line. And I was like, you know what, here we go. Like didn't really train. And then the year after, same thing. I was in a pretty brutal place, wasn't getting out of bed, was crying all day. My mom got me on some antidepressants like a month before the season. That gave me a little boost, but it was the same thing. I got on the ice the first time probably a week or 2 before, and then I got a last-minute flight to Nashville and said, here we are. So I think I've been pretty fortunate that I can just do nothing and kind of get away with it and show up and be okay. But that's also tough knowing that I'm not as prepared as I'd want to be, but I can kind of get away with it, which has its pros and cons.
Well, that's what some people did say about you, Spencer. Considering now people have a better idea of the things that you have been dealing with in your head, they said, you know, you're a heck of a player. And it's actually pretty amazing to see how far you've come, considering everything that you were dealing with quietly and privately that a lot of us didn't know about. Are you excited about what the future could be hockey-wise, knowing now that you have a plan to deal with everything that you were dealing with?
Yeah, well, first of all, That's nice. I don't know who's saying that, but thank you to them.
You'd be surprised. A few people said that, actually.
Yeah, I am excited. And talking about like feeling proud about myself, one thing this summer is like every time I wake up and I go to the gym or I'm on the ice, like I'm already more accomplished in one day than I was like all last summer, all the summer before that. So I think it's just the little victories in that, and just like no matter how many times I skate or how many times I work out, I'm going to be more prepared for this training camp than I have ever before. So it's just a matter of like feeling proud, feeling excited, and yeah, it's going to be a whole new training camp. It's going to be a whole new year. I think my relationship with hockey is still evolving. I'm still getting used to like being on the ice and enjoying it. And like one thing I never really did is like try to score. Like I've never been, you know what, like I'm going to go out there. I'm going to like, I want to change the game. I want to do this. Like my coaches have always been, you're way too passive. Like you can do more. And I just didn't have that drive. I think I'm still getting used to wanting to do more and wanting to score and wanting to do this and that, but it's something that's coming and something that I'm still working on. But yeah, I think moving into training camp, I'm feeling so much better. Most years I'd go and be like, I just want to go back to Milwaukee. So that's not, I just want to go home. So that's not a good look. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there and hopefully sticking there.
It's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Can we ask you some different kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, anything.
Now, so Kyle, before Spencer mentioned the movies and that he watched a lot of movies to get his degree, he joked.
Yes.
You had a movie question for him.
Well, yeah, given your film study background at Notre Dame, I've got to know, is there a movie you have seen this summer, this year, that for everybody out there listening is like a must watch?
Gosh, this year. I mean, this is kind of cheesy, but this is not my film major take. But I'm a big Marvel guy, well, big superhero guy of all sorts, and I just watched Superman and the Fantastic Four. Superman was great. Fantastic Four was